This is Muleshoe Bend Recreation Area, a big bend in the Colorado River north of Austin in Spicewood. And I took my kayak out there for the second trip I've ever had in this modular kayak, and it was a workout getting set up. So this is the area you park up top there and walk down to the water, and it's a pretty steep grade. So I speeded this up because it would have taken forever to show this, but there are parts I slow down for you. So in addition to carrying down the two sections of the modular kayak, I had to go back and forth and get all my gear. So you're going to see that, and then you're going to see how I set it all up. Step one, pull out the front section of the modular kayak and take it down to the water's edge. And as soon as I left it there, it was back up for some more gear. Once I was back at the car, I gathered up all my fishing poles, and then I also grabbed a couple bags. One of them is with my fishing tackle, and the other one is a cooler which had my drinks and the fishing bait, and got that all down to the water. And it's back up the hill for some more gear. This time I got the oars, or the paddles, which you need to kind of push out. I got the kayak chair, and I grabbed the pedals for the kayak. Got all this gear down to the edge of the water. Then it was back to the car for the heaviest item, the back part of the kayak. So I got that, managed to lug that down. It's probably about 45 pounds. Kind of awkward and big. Then it was another return trip to the car for the rest of the gear. My life jacket, the milk crate with my fishing rod holders, my net, and then make sure the car was secured and locked up. And don't forget the mocha iced coffee. Now that all the gear was down, the next step was to put the kayak together. So there's 3 metal clips on the bottom, and they're adjustable. You can adjust the tension on them. I wanted to slow this down to show you how this works. So the kayak fits together. Pretty easy. And then you have these adjustable clips. So I thought that one was a little loose. So you just twist the screw in a little bit more, and it has a triangular open hole that clips onto a piece of metal. But then I tightened it too tight, so I had to loosen it a little, just right. The other ones were good. I got those tightened up. So there's 3 on the bottom. Now it's back to fast motion here. And then you'll see me quickly do the 2 on the top side on either end. There's 1, and there's 2. Then I immediately brought it over to the water's edge and tipped it over so that I could start working on setting it up. So the first thing I wanted to set up was my time lapse, which is an app on an old iPhone. So I had configured the front of the kayak in a way that I could hook on an adapter that would hold the phone. Now, when I do my time lapses, I like to have extra power so it doesn't stop. So I had an external power source, but I didn't want to leave it on the outside of the kayak. So I came up with an idea. I threaded the wire from the phone down into the storage space in the front there. And then I grabbed my external source of power along with a plastic bag and connected it, and then tightened up that end of the plastic bag just in case any water got into that compartment. And this kayak is really solid. No, not a drop of water was in there at the end of the day. So I sealed that baby up, and then I didn't want it like moving all over the place inside the compartment. So I said, hey, I've got this green strapping. Why don't I just tie it onto the green strapping, wrap it up and give it a tie, and then I won't have to worry about it moving around and disconnecting. So I wrapped it all up, gave it a tie, and I was good to go. The next order of business was to connect the rudder, which is your steering mechanism. So the rudder on this kayak is pretty cool. It's just one piece. It's already tied to the kayak. It has a long bolt. You just insert the bolt in, push it down, and then it connects with these two wing nuts and bolts, one on either side, because there's a cable that runs through to this handle which controls the steering. You move the handle and it moves the rudder back and forth. I like this feature. It's a really good feature of this kayak, that you have a steering mechanism and it's right below your seat, where you can just drop your arm down and turn the kayak whatever way you want to go. So I got that all tightened up, and that was good to go. Next was installing the kayak seat. And the kayak seat gets installed on two metal rails that have nuts inside them that slide, and so you can slide them to adjust where you want the seat, and then you just put the bolts in and you twist them down and you lock your seat in. It's a real comfortable seat too, comfortable for all day fishing. Next was installing a fishing rod holder that came with the kayak. So it has like an adapter you attach to the rail, and it just pushes in and locks in. Very easy. Then I went to put my anchor by my seat, and I added a feature here that I put together from parts I bought at Home Depot. So if you anchor right at the side of a kayak, it's not good. Your kayak will spin around. So you want to be able to anchor on the back of your kayak. So I bought some parts and created this little trolley system that I saw on YouTube that looks like it works great. And it did work great for me. So there's my anchor and my anchor line. So the way it works is that you drop the anchor down, then you connect the line to the trolley, and you can push it to the back of the kayak. And then that way your kayak won't spin. It'll pretty much stay in one place. So I loaded some bait in the little compartment right in front of my seat. I put my pedals on, and then it was time to get this milk crate in. So this particular milk crate had two rod holders on one end, and you see the metal bars going up in the back of the crate there, that it's going to sit right behind my seat. And it has the kayak has strong bungee cords, so I just slip the whole thing underneath the bungee cords, and it will hold it all in place really tight. So I added the two white PVC tubes in the back for two added rod holders. I actually had those on a different milk crate. And then you'll see how the other rod holders work. These were given to me as a gift. So they just slide down on those bars and tighten up. And then there's a screw that you can adjust the angle of the rods. And I was making sure that they weren't going to run into the seat. And this is great because with these two rod holders, I can put a couple rods in and drop some lines straight down on the sides of the kayak and fish that way. or even cast off with them and just let them sit in here. All right, so now it's time to get this show on the road. Once the crate was in, it was time to load in all my fishing poles, and I think I did a little overkill with the fishing poles. I probably should have just brought maybe 3 or 4 the most. I brought like 5, because if I had brought less fishing poles, there would have been a place to put my fishing net, and I couldn't really find a good place to put that, so I'll know for next time. But once all the gear was loaded up and I was ready to start pushing my kayak into the water, I realized, wait a minute, I can't push it from behind and climb in the kayak without stepping in the water. So I had to make a decision and take my shoes off, roll up my pant legs, wade into the water and drag the kayak into the water first, then climb in, and then paddle out far enough so that, and deep enough so I could insert the pedals in the middle of the kayak, and then I was good to go. So once I got out there, I was able to put the paddles away and just use the pedals, and I had a great day fishing. I didn't catch anything big, but I learned a lot about how to use the kayak. It's very stable, very good, and I'm looking forward to going out for future adventures and catching those big catfish.